Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. I'm Brad. It's Wednesday, which means there's brand new releases out there in comics, and in my hands is one of those. It's Science Comics Cars, Engines That Move You. So this is put out by First Second. I love the series. It's cover art by Dan Zettwoch and cover design by Andrew Arnold, Molly Jason, Johansson, and Chris Dickey. And the comic itself is by Dan Zettwoch. If I mispronounce her name, I really apologize by that. So Science Comics. Science Comics are really, really cool, and it's a series of graphic novels put out by, I will put some size comparison, this is how big it is compared to the kind of normal trade. It's put out by First Second, each taking on various topics, and what's great about them is that they not only can teach kids about topics, but adults too. I'm not gonna lie and say that I know all these things. I learned a ton from Science Comics. It's really, really educational and entertaining at the same time. I thoroughly enjoy it. So this one is all about cars. What a shock! And there's really kind of four sections. There's intake, prehistory of cars. There's compression, putting it all together. Power, about explosive growth, and then exhaust, cars in our environment. And each one is, and a glossary afterwards. And each one is absolutely fantastic, taking you through history, teaching you all about these topics. I know jack about cars. I really know nothing about cars. When something goes wrong with my cars, with my car, I take it to the car shop to go get it looked at. I am completely ignorant when it comes to cars and have no problem admitting it. True story is now my wife, when I was dating her, I pulled up to go, and I think we were going to go somewhere, and she was working on her car and put down the hood, and I thought maybe she needed to get the engine jumped or something like that, so I kind of asked her and was like, oh, what are you doing? And she said, oh, I was changing the headlight, and my response was, you can do that? I really do not know anything about cars. If it makes a weird sound, that's about what I got. That's bad, needs to go get looked at. So what's really great about this is it teaches me a lot, and it taught me a lot, and I think what's neat about this particular one is it's done in a way that everything is kind of broken down into very digestible parts. So within each chapter kind of has like a sub-chapter in a way for just a few pages. It might be one page, it might be 2 pages, maybe a couple more than that. So this is like Age of Steam, taking you through that about cars, and it really does help it build up. You know, we got horsepower to chariots, and I know that seems weird, but this is what the series does really well, is kind of take you through all of it and build upon what came before. And you get cool spreads like Anatomy of an Engine that it kind of takes you through all that, enough so that you can feel that you know a bit more. There's also a bit narrative. There's not tons of narrative, but there's a little bit of narrative in the chapters as well, kind of leading into it. So it's an interesting graphic novel in that it's not a story necessarily. This isn't something like First Second put out with like the history of cannabis, which was much more kind of, I'd say, there was more of a narrative to it. This instead feels like a lot more like segments that teaches you about the topics. And some of the other science comics do things a little bit different. There's the one about, I think it was the brain that came out a few months ago that I'm pretty sure we did a review of. That was about a narrative of a girl being kidnapped, and this guy wanted to kind of do experiments on her brain. So, like, very different style on this one compared to that one, which is pretty neat. And this one, I think, is a bit more digestible in that way. You can pick it up, read a couple chapters, and put it down, think about it, and then come back, read a couple chapters. And when I say chapters, I'm talking more the subsections. And it's really enjoyable. So, highly recommend this. This is for if you have a kid who wants to learn about cars, or if you're an adult like me who does not know anything about cars, I really recommend this. I mean, this is not that much. We're talking $12.99 for this, and it really reminds me of a lot of the science books I grew up with that were geared towards kids, that you can hand it to them, and then they can learn about the world around them, and that's what is great about the science comics. So, highly recommend it. I think it's great for kids, adults. Check it out. It's out in comic shops now. I don't know if it's in bookstores. It'll be bookstores soon, but whatever. Go support your comic shop. There's a link beneath this video. Put in your zip code. Tell if a shop's near you. No shop, no problem. We got some affiliate links, but really you should go support the comic shop themselves. And speaking of support, I want to thank First Second for hooking us up with this review copy. I just think it's just really cool stuff. Super educational, and highly recommend it. Science comics all around. Cool stuff. Educational. Fantastic. go get it. As always, thanks for watching. You can find us every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. So until next time, go learn through comics and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.